The mind is. The clock is not a problem. The mind is Toastmaster Nida.
Have you ever been in a room full of people where you did not belong to? It could be a Toastmasters meeting. Raise your hands. The next question to the audience is, have you ever been in a situation where you thought your life is not following the timelines you planned? Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and all the distinguished guests present here. Now let me switch the context for you and take you to a calm monastery nested in the Himalayas. There, a young monk named Ananda struggled with meditation. And many of you know that monks have just one purpose in life, which is to meditate and practice and master the art of meditation. Now this monk is frustrated with every disturbance that he gets. Be it a bird chirping, a twig cracking, or leaves rustling, he would lose his focus and get frustrated. So one day, he walks up to his master and tells, "Master, I cannot concentrate, the world is too noisy for me." So his master gives him a subtle smile and he says, "Why don't you go to a lake which is nearby, row it to the center, and there you'll find the stillness and the peace that you're looking for." Now this monk does exactly the same. He walks to the lake, takes a boat, walks to the center of the lake, and there he finds the stillness, no noise, no distractions, just the perfect silence he is looking for. Not even 10 minutes have passed and he hears a crash, a bump. Now he's angry and he's about to open his eyes until he notices that the boat which crashed his boat is empty. Now at that moment, this monk realizes that all the disturbances were outside and not within. Now the question comes, why am I narrating the story to you, right? Because last year was a total chaos for me. I was in the middle of my own storm. I did not ride a boat, but I was in a situation of self-doubt. I did not have a job like many others in today's volatile job market. And in that situation, slowly and silently, I was losing confidence in myself. And every interviewer who took my interview, it seemed like they're questioning my self-worth. The rejections seemed to be very personal. And there's a very strong word, imposter syndrome. Have you heard that?
Yes.
So that had a very perfect place in my mind. And in that situation, my inner narratives were, "Nida, you're lagging behind, you are not the self-worth, and everyone else is moving forward except you." But here's the hard truth that I learned. The job market was not my enemy and not the interviewer. But the actual enemy were the inner thoughts that were narrating those. Now here the question was not why this is happening to me. Many times we do that, like why is this situation with me? But the question was, if this situation happens, how do I navigate and how do I respond to that situation, right? So two things which I did to change it. The first thing what I did was to talk to my sister, who happens to be a psychologist, as I was deeply and personally connected to. So she helped me understand that the inner narratives were your real enemy and not the external circumstances which I was blaming to. She helped me understand when this imposter syndrome was speaking to me. The second thing, and the most important which I feel, was to join Toastmasters, not just to speak with clarity, but to speak in a structured manner and to build one positive habit where I could anchor myself when my life was becoming a quicksand. And there are many situations where we feel overwhelmed, thinking that things are difficult for us or things are heavy. It's basically the mind which is speaking to us. 3 key takeaways which I have taken from my own messy, meaningful journey and from the empty boat and the monk that I had learned. The first thing is, interruptions are not our enemy, but how we respond to matters. The monk did not need a lake or a boat, he needed clarity in his mind. Even if we face rejections, how we respond matters the most. The second thing is, do not focus to do more and more in life, try to create meaningful moments. Similar to the thing, like the monk, even if he did not need a lake, all the disturbance were within, and he was able to recognize the external circumstances did not matter. The third and the most important thing is time management is self-management. A well-managed day begins with a well-managed mind. And if your mind is still, even the busiest day would feel light for you. Because the clock is not the problem, the mind is.